Well, I was, as you can see from there, about to start sanding the bench down, because I'm going to use that one to start rebuilding the F750F engine. You know, you've seen enough of this, but I've got all the parts ready to go in, and I'm going to make a series of videos. You can clean up a couple of buttons to assist, but there she is, looking sorry for herself. Anyway, Fazer stops play. The carbs do need cleaning, admittedly, but that's not what the issue is. You can hear me over that noise. Anyway, it sits and idles absolutely fine, but if I take it off its stand and move it, well, I'll show you. I've discovered the electrical issue. Let me show you. Rocking it backwards and forwards a couple of days ago, I was convinced it was carbs. Maybe idle circuit. I mean, they wouldn't have been off probably, like, ever. It's a 24-year-old bike. But no, it is definitely an electrical problem down here. And when you turn the steering to the right, it cuts out. So it looks like this is the issue, and this wire down here. Annoyingly, I'm going to have to pull all this apart and fix this first before I crack on with the F750F engine rebuild. But should be straightforward enough. Let's crack on with it. Anyhow, I was about to start sanding the bench off and oiling it up, ready to get it all nice and pristine for the engine rebuild, but that can wait. I've brought the bike into the workshop end of the garage, and we can start pulling apart the front end. I need to get to the wiring and the ignition unit all around the barrel, etc., just to find out exactly where the issue lies. If it's just a wiring problem, that is a nice easy fix. Hopefully I won't have to replace any ignition stuff. That's going to be slightly tricky to remove because they are fitted in with shear bolts. When they're fitted, the bolts are deliberately they're designed to shear for anti-tampering purposes. Yeah, might be a problem, but anyway, let's get the front of this off and we can get to the issue. I'm not convinced I need to get the fairings off actually, so let's just start by doing this bit. So I need to undo this tank bolt. This is just a Allen key. That's probably, what size that is? 5mm. There you go. Captive nut at the other end, so shouldn't have too much trouble getting that out. Now I've got to undo this little bolt down here. It's a bit tucked away, but 8mm. Haven't got a 3/8 socket that small, so hopefully this isn't tight. Might need to move the camera to get in there. Wasn't tight, just needed get in with a long extension really, so right, let's get a little block of wood under the tank just to support it. Fuel tap there, I'm not absolutely sure which is the off position. I think I need to turn it anti-clockwise a quarter of a turn. I don't know what those two pipes are there. Breather and overflow maybe, but a bit weird going into that. Anyway, so yeah, let me just do that, if I can do it without knocking everything flying. You can see. Okay, there you go. I think that's the off position. We'll soon find out. It usually is, isn't it? You turn it fully the other way and you get reserve, but I think that's probably just the one position, on and off. Not sure. Right, let me see if I can detach this fuel hose. No idea if you can see, but okay. Clip off. Maybe we should put a little drip tray under there. 1 second. In case it's not actually off like it's meant to be. Pouring out right now if it was still switched on, so it should be okay. Yeah, good. Just going to disconnect that fuel sender there. That's that apart, so should just be able to get the tank off now. Should just be able to lift it up and away. It's looking all really grotty. Anyway, try not to disturb. So, coil there. Anyway, we need to get to this box. That's why we took the tank off. Because it's like it's hinged there. Yeah, because why? Because the wire for the ignition runs into here. I have to wiggle everything, see which one it is, but it's going to be one of these two brown box connectors, I would imagine. So we'll give the wires up at the front end down here a bit of a wiggle and see what moves. Now wiggling the wires, I don't know if you can see, red connector there's moving. So a bit dark, sorry, there you go. Well, you can't see it, it's not moving now. Maybe it's not that one, actually maybe that was just moving because something else was moving. Right, it would appear to be these two red box connectors here, so just giving everything a really good wiggle, and this does seem to be guilty parties. I don't think you can mix these up, so let's just no, you can't mix them up, so I'll pink into red on that one. So I'm not going to get that one out. Oh, I need to press in on that. Let me just go and get a little poker. I'll tell you what, as I was moving the wires at the ignition switch end, they weren't off making a crackle. Let's see if I can pull these out. I'll get snagged and caught up on something, no doubt. it's that clip there just needs to come out, so I'm not actually sure how these come apart, to be fair. Don't know. Oh, and that's a Christmas tree clip as well, so okay. Well, it seems to have come apart. So, anyway, I'm guessing you saw almost nothing of that, but the cables are out, so good luck me routing all that lot back in. Anyway, okay. Yeah, pretty sure we can do this without taking the fairings off, so let's just get the handlebars off. Okay, that's one. Okay, find that in a minute. Right, I'm going to put an actual socket on these because I can imagine won't quite have the a bit tight. Yeah, wouldn't quite have the. Oh, that was loose as. Or mind you, probably because I loosened that one. It's kind of self-loosening, isn't it? Once you've done one. Yeah, imagine that would have been a bit tight with just a normal Allen key. So here's the actual hex head socket. They're nice and loose now. Now I can get an Allen key on them. So these are 6mm. So I'm thinking we probably can do this without the fairings off. It might just be a bit tight getting the bars out of the way, but it would seem like a big pain in the hoo-ha to have to take all these fairings off just to get the bars out of the way to get the top yoke off. I don't know. Yeah, I can't see any reason why we'd need to take those fairings off. It's going to flop around, but we can just move them out of the way, can't we? So let's get the top nut off the yoke. Do you reckon that is 22mm? Well, that's a 24mm, and that doesn't fit. So okay, 27. That's fortunate. Well, I need to break a bar on that because, or if I just push against the wheel just to hold it, yeah, and get a break bar on it. Any effort at all then. Right. Let's get to these clamp bolts. Guessing these are 6mm. Yep. remove them all the way, just slacken them off. Get you later. Right, okay. Okay, so should be able to just pull these straight up and off now, I think. Anything else that's catching onto them? Seems like something holding them, not sure. There's just something caught up. There's a big old chunky cable there, which is the throttle cable's running through a bracket that's attached to it, so might need to remove that. Yeah, that's probably why you meant to take all the fairings off, just to make it easier. Throttle cables and bracket holding them on. So I think there's just a socket head under there that I can get an Allen key in just to remove that, so let's do that. This is a 5mm, so I'm sure I'm going to get an Allen key in there. That's clearly the advantage of taking the fairings off. Yeah, it is 5mm, but it's getting in there, so I'm going to give a flexible knuckle a try from below. Well, it's loosened enough that the bracket moves, as you can see, but the bolt's still really stiff and it's really difficult to get in there. So I'm going to have another try at just pulling the yokes up and off and see if we can manoeuvre that around the cables now. And then we can just take it off once we're free of the bike. Right. Yeah, that's fine. Just loosening that was enough to allow me to move it. So let's take that off now. We can get to it. So it's just hiding behind there. Can't get in there with that short reach, so pulled out one of the long ones. Benefit of having a really comprehensive set of tools. Okay. Just looking to get a swing on it now. It's still really stiff, even though it's loose. There's no way I could turn that with my fingers. But hopefully it'll go back in a lot easier, so we should be able to get everything back together. No trouble. Well, that bracket was a pain in the hoo-ha, but at least it's come away. Bolts dropped away, so I'm going to have to go hunting for that. But let's get the top yoke off and then we can start looking at this ignition barrel. Right. Found it. I was wiggling the handlebars and it dropped onto the floor, so always hunt for your fixings before you do anything else, otherwise they'll just disappear into the ether. Anyway, it's going to need a bit of a clean up, so I'm going a little easier than it came out. Let's pop it back in before we lose it again, shall we? That is really stiff. Anyway, now what we need to do is just take a look at the problem itself, which is the wiring into the bottom of the unit. Well, found the problem. Can't see any wire inside where that's come away from, so we're only going to be able to fix this by taking it apart, if we can actually take it completely apart, and if not, we'll just have to replace the whole thing. Imagine it comes apart, otherwise how would you get all the wires soldered in there unless they're soldered in and then it's kind of pressed together and it's not serviceable after that. Who knows? But yeah, that would appear to be the issue. It was actually laying against the body of the unit, so it was kind of working intermittently. I guess it's a ground. We could plug it back in and test it, but we know it's definitely the issue, so we might just as well get on and fix it. So those are the two shear bolts that need to be drifted out, so we'll get on and do that first. So this is the ignition barrel side. I'm guessing those are just caps over screws that might be holding the barrel to that block, so we might be able to get inside there and see if we can fix and restore that broken wire. If not, I'll have to replace the whole thing. Okay, I've got the yoke in the vise with a rag, so let's see if we can drift these bolts out. Give it a go anyway. Okay, let's see if we can get it started with a carbide drill. Probably going to mar this up, but doesn't matter, hidden away. Made a spot. Let's see if we can go a bit deeper just so we can get a bit of a bite on it. Right, so if it won't come out this way, we can always see if we can basically just drill down. I mean, it's still like a head of a bolt there, so we could just come down on top of it with the post drill and again use a carbide bit and just take the head completely off. The whole thing should come away then, and there should be enough bolt left to extract. So anyway, we'll give that a go after this. Get all the shavings out there because they're jumping all over the place. That does not want to seem to be moving at all. Let's do the other one while we're here. Right, okay, well we'll come back to that in an hour or two, maybe tomorrow, and we'll give it another try. Well, I've either got to drift them out or drill them out. Either way, they've got to come out because that's got to come apart, or I'm going to have to buy a whole new yoke. So that'll be part 2. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Do the whole like, subscribe, comment thing, and I will see you next time.